Hello and welcome to the next episode of my track from scratch on the Sonicware Liven XFM tutorial series. So far, we have discussed what the overall end-to-end process of making a track is going to look like. We've selected some sounds and done a little sound design, and we started doing some composition. Specifically though, on video I only covered writing the first section of the song. What I did then was copy that section to two other locations. Section B, I made a few changes. Section C, I diverged a little bit further from that. So these are logically going to be something like a chorus and a verse and a bridge. I'm going to enable pattern chaining mode and select my A, B, and C sections and hit play. So this is my A section loop. Section loop. You can hear some filter changes, but not that much, quite similar. And finally, the C section loop. So you can hear the C section is quite different, A and the B are pretty similar. I already described earlier on what my general layout was going to be for this. So we were going to have 3 copies of the A section, 4 copies of the B section, 5 copies of the C section, and then back with 4 copies of the A section. So I'm actually going to do that now. Go into pattern mode, load the A pattern, save in slot 1, save slot 2, save slot 3, save, not save. So now I have my A section in all of these first 3 slots. Now let me load my B section, save into 4, save into 5, save into 6, save into 7, load my C section. So I've got these and these, so I want to start C from here all the way through to 12, save in 8, save in 9, save in 10, save in 11, save in 12, and then I'm going to load my A section again. And let me just have a quick check. So there's my A, there's my B, there's my C, and I'm going to start saving A section here. So save here, save here, save here. So patterns A, B, 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 C. Oh, I didn't save in one of them, so save here. So again, B, C, C. Oh, I wasn't doing a good job saving them there, was I? Save here, save here, save here. So C, 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 A, 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 A. Okay, so just so visually I can differentiate between these patterns, I'm going to rename them. So I'm going to enter pattern name editing modes. The first one in this bank. I'm going to change the number to 1. Okay, the second one. I'll change the number to 2. Third one. Number 3. So this is the first of the B's, so I think I'm going to call this one 1. This one 2. 3. 4. And we're on to C's. Call this C1. Oops. C2. Three. 4. 5. So it's relatively boring process, 1 to 4, and now my A's, I'm going to number them 5, 6, 7, 8. 5, 6, 7, and 8. So that was very uninteresting. You can exit this mode. So my patterns are pattern 1, 2, A3, 4, B1, 2, 3, 4, C1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A5, 6, 7, 8. So if I were to pattern chain all of these, it would play them all in order, but every single instance of each one of them would be the same. So this would be relatively uninteresting to listen to. So I'm going to clear that, and I'm going to open the first one of the patterns. Now I'm going to think about how exactly do I want this to progress. So the simplest way of progressing these things, I think, is going to be simply deleting the parts that we don't want initially. So what I'm going to do to test that is I'm going to load the first instance of the pattern, I'm going to start it playing, and I'm going to mute parts. So I like the idea of starting like that. So as soon as it starts, we're only going to have the pad, and we're going to have the, let's see. Yeah, we're only going to have the pad, and we're going to have the lead. So for the first iteration, that's all we're going to go for. So what we can do, save A1. So notice the mutes were saved. So I didn't actually even delete the notes here. So let's go to pattern A2. Those two parts were muted. Let's say that I bring in the... let me just test it, I suppose. Bring in the bass, I think. Okay, so save that pattern. So now we have a build-up already. So let's pattern chain, first 3. So you can see these two parts are muted for now. So the bass is in. So in this last section, I might make a change to the lead line just so it ends in a little more of an interesting manner. So let me show you. If I pattern chain, oops, pattern chain these two. So this is the final A section going into the B section. So what I might do then is get out of pattern chain mode, load pattern 3. Towards the end of this, I might think about maybe removing that last chord, or yeah, I think that's probably the most sensible thing to do. And also I'd like to not have the drums play for the last bar. Now at the moment, this instance of this pattern is randomized. So it's probably not going to be super convenient to do that. So instead what I'll do is I'll drop the bass. So we've got, this is the final page. So let's play it. Okay, so what I'm going to do then is I'm going to erase all of the bass part from this final page, and on the second last page back here. So the bass is going to cut out. And the lead, let's listen to that last page. Okay, so what I think I'm going to do is delete the last page worth of playing on the lead line and play something different. So delete those, delete, yes, delete all of those. So let's, okay, so let's start playing again. So now we have a variation there, and I'm going to save this into bank 3. So now let's have a quick listen, transition from the final part of the A section into the B section. So now we're into the B section. The B section extends over 4 patterns. What I'm probably going to do is something of a breakdown along this, and then the bridge is just going to drop in and I'll try and make a contour to it. So I think it's acceptable that all the parts come in right away here. So I'm now going to... So now I'm in B2 and I'm going to decide which part I want to drop out first. Okay, so I think first I'm going to drop out the bass, then I'm going to drop out the drums, and then I'm going to drop out the chords. So save B2, load B3. I'm going to take out the bass and drums, save B3, load B4, mute all of those, save into the 4th, pattern chain. So let's play. So I feel like B4 is a little bit thin on its own. So what I might do is I might replace the chords with something simpler, just one note rather than a pair of notes. So I'm going to clear part 1, I'm going to unmute it. So I think that's all I'm going to play. So actually, let me go into this mode. Okay, and let's listen to those 2 parts together. Okay, and I think like I did for the previous section, I'm going to play something else at the end just to make it sound a little bit more interesting and varying. I think that's good. So let's save this into number 4. So now let's listen to the transition from that 4th pattern into the bridge. I think I might mute one of these parts. I quite like it with both of those muted, so I'm actually going to build it up and then break it down a bit. So I think this is good. So let's save on C1. Let's load C2. Okay, I think that's good. Save on C2. Load C3. Now all the parts are going to be in, and we have 2 more of these. So now we're going to do C3 plays as is, and then we're going to break down a little bit more. So my previous ones were losing these 2, so I might experiment with, let's see if I mute either the 1st or the 4th track. Okay, let's try that. So let's save that here, load the 5th instance of the C part. Sounds an interesting diversion. So let's try and listen to this pattern chain. So we've got C1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we're finally into the end A section. So this is where we're going to wind everything down. What I'm thinking is that perhaps the final pattern will not actually play a full iteration, but will simply play a note on the 1, which will end the track. So I'm going to start here, thinking what I want to end with, and then I'm going to go back and figure out how to fill in the gaps. So regular pattern load, A8. So what I'm going to do here is, this chord is probably the chord I'm going to end on. So I'm going to delete everything else. Then this is my bass part. Okay, I think that's probably going to be fine. Okay, and then the drums. I think I'm going to mute the drums for this section. And the lead. Okay, let's go step edit. Let's go, where are we? We're in step edit mode, we're on step 14, clear step 1. Maybe I should have made that a bit longer, shouldn't I? Closer to the length of the full bar. So let's clear those. Let's go to step edit mode, go back all the way to step 1. A little bit abrupt, but I think I can deal with that. Okay, so we see that the drums are going to go out before the end of this arrangement. So I'm gonna save this, load the prior pattern. So if the drums are already out, and I'm doing a breakdown, let's say that I want the bass and the drums out in this section. Load the previous one, and I'm only going to take the bass out in that section. Save here. So let's pattern chain those. So this is with everything in. Okay, a little bit of a strange ending, but I think I'm okay with that. So what we have now is a series of patterns which we could play as one long chain, which will sound like a song. It's a little bit rough around the edges, so I think we're going to do another episode going back in and trying to tidy things up, trying to make things feel like they gel and fit together a little more smoothly. But other than that, I think we have achieved our goal. So once again, thank you very much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye.